Up, we're going to talk about the sporting director situation. Matt Law was on Last Word on Spurs yesterday, and he was talking about it, and he said Tottenham have approached Chelsea's sporting director Paul Winstanley and have also held very serious talks with Dougie Freeman. Sebastian Kell has also been suggested, but a deal has not progressed. He says he's surprised that no one has come in as of yet, and he's also said that on Johan Lang will remain at the club initially. Whether his role changes again, we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, surprising, according to Matt Law, that no sporting director has come in as of yet. But yeah, apparently an approach has been made for Paul Winstanley, and Paul Winstanley's kind of transfer business has been, go to Brighton and see what we can get, and that's what we've been doing so far this window.
And he was at Brighton, wasn't he? So this isn't new. I think he's just taken the names that we've heard before in the press about who's been linked with the job, and those are the names that we've heard already, and nothing's obviously quite happened. From what he said there, it's pretty much what we were saying before when he says they've that he's surprised that no one's come in already. This is exactly the conversation we were having a few days ago when it came to the sporting director. This should have been in the works for 6 months. Paratici left in January, so they should have had someone. They should have been looking from then. It shouldn't be starting now. They shouldn't be doing interviews now. They should have been doing interviews during the season. They should have been doing interviews a long time before that, and there should have been someone in place come the end of the season. If that's when you wanted to make sure you hire someone, they should have been in place when the end of the season came to be in place for our summer and get our transfer strategy correct, and so we can move forward with the correct kind of transfer policy. And also, this was all about restructuring the footballing side of Tottenham. So it's not just about one summer, it's the future summers and the future the future of our footballing operations. So this is obviously a long-term thing, but they've had a long time now that they've known that they're looking for someone, and they've known they want to bring someone in. So I'm also very surprised that it just smacks of a lack of proactivity from the club, that someone hasn't come into that role yet when they've had a long time already to kind of sort this out. When it comes to Johan Lang, I'm not surprised that they want to that maybe he might stay on, but as I've said, I'm pretty certain they are going to bring someone in, but clearly they're not being as proactive as I'd have liked about it.
Well, it's the same names that we heard. We talk about proactively planning. It looks as though it's the same names that was mentioned 3 months ago or whatever it was. So they've clearly been thinking about it, and maybe they've not been able to get their guys over the line. Sebastian Kell was brought up by Sky Sports. He said, Spurs stay in division, he will be our sporting director. Obviously, they've gone cold on him. And Winstanley and Dougie Freeman have also been suggested for months now. These names aren't new. So maybe they're just struggling to get men over the line in terms of sporting director. Maybe Winstanley doesn't want to leave Chelsea. Maybe Dougie Freeman doesn't want to come from Saudi and leave his, however much money he's getting paid out in the Saudi second division. So if these are the guys that they've earmarked and these are the guys that they want and they don't want to come, who knows? That's what I keep saying. Like, maybe Johan Lang will be here this summer as sporting director. We've already started our business with Johan Langer at the helm. We're doing business with him at the helm. And I don't know. I just feel like this guy is going to be with us at least till the end of the summer.
I think he'll be here. I just think they will bring someone in.
Director, I mean,
I don't think he's going to be our sporting director come the end of summer. They'll find someone. I think they know how important this role is, and they clearly don't trust Johan Lang to fulfill that role on his own. I think that's been proven. So I think they are desperately looking for someone, and I think they'll find someone. But this is what we've always said about ENIC in terms of, I do think there's a willingness to do things. I'm not saying that they've been sitting on their hands and not looking for anyone for these 6 months, but what I am saying is that process should be at the final stages right now. Or they should have empoisoned someone by now. Do they have the quality to know who to go for? Who's the highest kind of best in class when it comes to sporting director? Do they have that footballing knowledge to know across the whole of the footballing world who to identify as someone who should be heading up our footballing operations? Like, do they have that knowledge? That's what I question, and there's always what I question with them when it comes to them saying they want to do this and that. They want to put football first. Okay, that's all great, but What do they know about football? That's the thing. What do they know about putting football first? All this kind of stuff. So I'm obviously very skeptical whether they're going to make the right decision and whether they know who to bring in and what that means for our future. But I'm sure there's a willingness. They're going to bring someone in. I'm certain of that. They are going to bring someone in. I just don't know who it's going to be.
Or when it will be.
Or when it will be.
You know what I mean? Because the longer we go into the window, the more business that we do. This is going to be a window shaped in the image of Johan Lang and Roberto De Zerbi when we want it to be with a different sporting director and Roberto De Zerbi. So every single target that we're going for, even Van Hecker, is players that we've been linked to in the past. We were linked to Van Hecker last summer. We were linked to Savinho last summer. We were linked to Senesi, and not even Senesi, Robertson, we were linked to in January. So, I mean, all these players are all players that were scouted under Johan Langer. And if we're going to build this new Tottenham under a new sporting director, it makes no sense to do the business under Johan Langer. You know what I mean? So
Depends how certain they are about these signings.
Who's certain? Who's certain? Johan Lang?
Or would you rather just not sign anyone and wait?
No, I'd rather a new sporting director was there before.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying while they were looking for someone, would you rather, if
But
there is
should never get to this stage.
I know that, we all know that. I'm saying right now they haven't got one in yet. I think they will bring one in, but in the meantime, would you rather them not be proactive with some signings and wait for a sporting director to come in to make any signings, or if they've got some targets they're pretty certain about while they wait for a new sporting director, would you want them to act? And that's what they're doing.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is that it could cause this whole mishmash approach where a new sporting director could come in and bring in, have better ideas and better targets in those certain positions.
Disagree.
So I think it's just ludicrous. If you're going to go half the window with a sporting director, there's no point bringing one in, halfway through the summer window when the whole window has been planned for. It just makes no sense.
Has the whole window been planned for, or is it just in this interim period while we're waiting for someone? Who knows?
I don't know. We're hearing links in the forward line. We're obviously sorted out the defence. There's links in the midfield as well. There's links all over for players that we're targeting in the window. So it doesn't look like they're putting anything on hold. It looks like all steam ahead, full steam ahead for the transfer.
I think they're gonna get. I don't see. Look, I might be wrong. I think for now we're gonna get Robertson, Senesi. I think we're going to try hard to get Savinho and Van Hecker through the door, and then I predict we won't make any more signings until a new sporting director comes in.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about that. We'll wait and see. We'll see how it progresses. But yeah, look, I think Johan Lang is here to stay until the end of the window. We'll see what happens. On a side to that, Matt Law and Alistair Gold both confirming that further capital investment will be put into Tottenham Hotspur by the Lewis family in the coming weeks. Lewis family are set to inject more money into the club, and Spurs want to back Roberto De Zerbi in this transfer market. Something that we've never heard before.
Well, it's interesting. Rally Gold in his article said that they are looking to sell their art portfolio, which is apparently worth up to 200 million. Now, whether that has, Tottenham benefit from that or not,
Ali
who
Gold
knows?
said in the interview it's got nothing to do with Tottenham's transfer business and the injection of funds.
Well, not on the face of it. Who knows? Who knows what? Obviously, they're doing it. They're getting more money into their bank account, and then they're going to inject money into us.
It's something that the Lewis family have done throughout the years. They've always bought and sold their art collections. They're avid art collectors, and it's just something that they do, and they've always done.
Yeah, but if they're investing money into Tottenham, and then their bank balance gets a benefit, would they be willing to invest a bit more if their bank balance is a bit healthier? Then if not, if they've got less money, they're not going to invest as much. So maybe I don't know. Who knows if it will affect Tottenham or not, but I'm just saying it's something of interest that they're doing that at this moment in time when there's a lot of talk about Tottenham
the reality
pumping money into Spurs.
£200 million is like a drop in the water for ENIC. They're billionaires. They're absolute billionaires. So as much as it will help their bank balance, but it's not that significant when you see how much they're actually worth.
Well, if they're, of course, but they're there, but they have that amount of money because they watch their money. So they're not going to just, if they can, they're going to put money in. If they want to put money into Tottenham, they're talking about 200 million. And all of a sudden, coincidentally, they're looking to sell 200 million's worth of art.
But it's not coincidentally, because Ali Gold said in that article that they're consistently buying and
So
selling
it is a
art.
coincidence then. That's what you're saying. It is coincidence.
No, because they're always doing it.
So it's a coincidence. They want to. So you're saying if it's not a coincidence, then you would say that they're doing it for a reason to put money into the club. But it is a coincidence because you're saying they just happen to be selling 200 million while they were
They
looking
always do, yeah.
right. While there are also rumours of putting 200
Correct,
million
yeah.
into the club. So that's a
Correct.
coincidence.
Yeah.
So we're saying it's a coincidence then that it's 200 million that they're selling in art at this moment, while there are also talks of pumping 200 million into the club, and it might be, but also might not be.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's anything to do. I mean, Ali Gold literally said it in his article. It's nothing to do with the Spurs transfer business. It's not going to make any effect
What
on
does
the
he
Spurs
know?
transfer business.
Yes,
he knows more than us.
Or has he spoken to the Lewis family?
He's got more inside scoop than us.
Yes, but of course, it's they're getting 200 million for them. They're not giving it for Tottenham.
I don't think he'll just say things just willy-nilly just because he feels like saying it. He obviously knows something that we don't.
Of course, it's separate to Tottenham. We know that it's the Lewis family selling art. I'm not denying that. I'm saying it's a coincidence. Maybe it's a coincidence. I'm just saying they're apparently getting 200 million for their art that they're getting into their bank account, and also there's talks of them pumping 200 million into Tottenham. So is there a link there? Maybe.
Maybe. But what the news is that Spurs, ENIC are potentially pumping more money into the club to back Roberto De Zerbi. That's all that matters right now. Forget their art. All that doesn't matter right now. What matters is that they're potentially putting more money in the coming weeks into Tottenham Hotspur to boost the transfer coffers. That's all that matters.
Which is obviously great news if true, and we'll wait to see how much it is, and we'll wait to see kind of how they use the funds. As we've always said with Tottenham, it's not necessarily how much we're spending, it's how we spend it, isn't it? So they pumped 100 million, what was it, last year? And obviously we finished 17th again. So obviously we need the investment, of course. We need that money for De Zerbi to rebuild, and he's gonna need the backing from the board. So to hear that we're getting money pumped in is great news, but it's only as exciting as how we spend it. So we'll wait to see how the summer progresses.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, people. But the money's there. The money's there for Spurs to spend. As you say, we need to spend it in the right areas, and we need to get this transfer window right. It's like, I know we say it every year, but this is literally one of the most important transfer windows that I can remember. After finishing 17th twice in a row, it's so important to get this right, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. This is a massive summer. We need to accelerate our footballing processes, because we can't afford another season like last season. And of course, with this club, I think they're heavily dependent, or one of their models is getting into Europe every year, being in Europe. So I think that's going to be the aim again. Every year, it doesn't matter where we finish, as long as we're not relegated, the aim the next season will always be, let's get back in Europe. And I think that'll be the aim again. So to make that jump needs serious investment and good, smart recruitment.
Yeah. Let's get into the nitty